pour you a cup of coffee, relax, tell the boss to chill out for a bit because it's Coffee Break Tuesday. For the next couple of coffee breaks, I'm going to be focusing on the men in the room. We have what I consider a very important issue to discuss, so let's get into it.
Bells ringing, birds singing, hello, good morning.
The issue I want to discuss is this. Men have stopped reading. Not all of us, but enough that it has become quite a big issue. Not a crisis in one culture, society, or even a country, but a more global crisis that is affecting men across the board. And it's obvious what has occurred. We've replaced books with scrolling and screens. We've traded silence for noise, and it is destroying our ability to think, to lead, and to grow. Now, this message is directed at the men, but it can go for women as well. My goal is not to pit one against the other, but to highlight the need for more well-read men. And to be honest, I think women would appreciate more men reading as well. Or maybe I'm just being naive, but anyway, let's chat about the facts real quick. According to Pew Research, nearly 40% of men didn't read a single book last year. Not even one. Not digital, not audio, nothing. The average man spends about 7 hours a day on screens, gaming, Netflix, watching sports, social media, and let's be honest, we have to include porn. Girls now outperform boys reading in every country tested by PISA, which is the Program for International Student Assessment. This isn't just a small shift. It's becoming or has become a major issue. Men are becoming spectators when we were designed to be thinkers, builders, and creators. And when we stop reading, we stop becoming any of those. So what are we losing? Reading books teaches us skills you can't quite acquire anywhere else. How to sit with complexity, how to focus for a prolonged period of time, how to form coherent thoughts and debate ideas internally, how to use this information to speak your mind with clarity and conviction. But without reading, we lose our depth. Our ideas and thoughts go flat like a forgotten beer left out amongst the distraction of society. We become reactive and irrationally emotional. We even become easily manipulated, and that may be one of the most serious and telling ones. A man who doesn't read becomes a man who is very easy to control. And before we move in to the next part, I want to share a passage from Steinbeck's book, East of Eden. Time frame in the book is around the early 1900s. It's so good. In our time, mass or collective production has entered our economics, our politics, and even our religion, so that some nations have substituted the idea collective for the idea God. This, in my time, is the danger. There is great tension in the world, tension toward a breaking point, and men are unhappy and confused. At such a time, it seems natural and good to me to ask myself these questions. What do I believe in? What must I fight for? And what must I fight against? Chapter 13 in East of Eden is a good one. So what happens when we have masculinity without substance? Think about what happens to a culture of men who just quit reading. You get men who talk loudly, but they think shallow. Men who are angry, but they don't even know why. And men who crave respect, but haven't sought the wisdom to earn it. Men who want something now and don't even have the self-discipline to read a book to figure out how. We're not lacking so much in testosterone. I mean, maybe a little bit, but we're lacking the mental training that books provide, that mental, emotional, and intellectual discipline. We treat books like decorations now. I mean, they look cute in the backdrop, and heck, maybe they even help me look a little bit more intelligent than I am, but my books, at this point, are my education. They are the tools that I use to shape how I view the world. And how you view the world is everything. That view has to be protected, lest it is corrupted, distorted by pixels, news, and lies. And I humbly must admit, the lens society said I should look through has been so distorted that if I want to verify truth, I have to hold it up to the integrity of these old books. Only after reading some of the classics have I discovered that modern lens was a little out of focus. And without books in focus, we're raising a generation of men built on a very, very sandy foundation. So we have to ask, why did this shift happen? We didn't just stop reading by accident. We were trained out of it, trained to seek dopamine instead of depth, to consume instead of contemplate, to skim and hurry instead of sitting still, just to have you swallow a prescription to slow you back down. The algorithm feeding you the right thing at the right time conquers self-control and can hold even the most stubborn discipline hostage. Society doesn't want thinking men. It wants compliant consumers who purchase before considering. It wants you to find your answers to age-old issues in the pharmaceutical line. It wants subscribers and porn-addicted viewers. The bikini-clad Instagrammer who says the same phrases but in 40 different outfits trying to gain a fan. How easy does the algorithm enslave the victim? So caught up in ourselves that we confuse addiction for pleasure and paint it in all the beautiful, cool shades of comfort. So if we can no longer choose an activity that doesn't involve clicks and swipes laced with dopamine, then what chance does reading a book have? Reading, in a sense, becomes the rebellious act of not conforming and not participating in the modern silicon society. The black boots in Fahrenheit 451 were traded in for bright white screens, and instead of fire to consume the books, they just simply used cheap distraction. So you have to read if you want to reclaim yourself. So what's the answer? It's not complicated, but it is hard. You have to pick up a book, one that challenges you, one that humbles you, one that strengthens you. Something with depth and something that matters. I will even compromise a tad and say listen to a book on audio if need be. At least it's something. Just pick one that can improve and shape who you are. Maybe it's Meditations or Man's Search for Meaning, or a relatable and short one for me, The Old Man and the Sea. I don't know why I like that one so much, but I guess I relate to that old man's soul. If you're a man without direction, I would highly suggest that one. Go look up at the stars in the gutter with Alexander Hamilton, or Tackle Faith with Whitty Chesterton. Whatever it is, just finish it. Wrestle with it. Taste, chew, and digest all the pages of a book like it's bacon. Curious if anyone connects the buttons on that one. So, absorb something pure into your life. Make it real and honest. And don't do it because it's trendy. Lord knows that's not the case with books, but do it because your mind is the one thing in the world you actually own. You must be the gatekeeper to what you allow in. Be cautious what you let pass through and take control of the narrative that you feed to your mind. If not, the media and the news will have you hating yourself, confused about who you are, and believing so many lies that reality will distort like a distant horizon. The world doesn't need more distracted men. It needs men who are disciplined and who can think. It desperately needs men who have a desire to read and a love for books. I truly believe the quality of our future hangs on this subject. For men to improve and lead, we have to get back to reading. Show your kids that you read. Put down the phone and read a book in front of them. Read it to them. For men to lead and raise strong families, it is essential we start to pick up quality books. The consequences of this trend in men reading less and less will keep showing up in the news, society, elections, and even worse. How much pain do we have to experience before we choose to read again? I fear difficult times may force the issue for us. So start now. Read like your life depends on it, because at this point, it kind of does. The next coffee break, we're discussing how books build men. So I hope you like this video, and please share with a friend, subscribe if you enjoy this type of content, and follow along the classical reading journey. I know videos like this are kind of surface level and not for everyone, but I really just want to get more men reading again. So with that being said, read some amazing books, drink some fantastic coffee, and I will see you very soon. I love you all, and as always, I want you to stay blessed. Thank you.